I'm back. Boy, am I glad to see you. Thought that I wouldn't be able to finish this story. There's a lull at work, hoping it picks up soon. My stories don't pay my bills. It's an outlet. You have all these ideas and you don't know where to put it. It's like leaving a faucet with water running. You need a vessel for all these ideas. Writing is that bucket. Enough said. Let's get back to part 2 of episode 10 of the original comic book story in a narrative format, The Devil and the Angel. First of all, I'd like to thank you listeners and viewers for spending your precious time with my story. And as usual, this story is intended for a mature audience. Viewer and listener discretion is advised. Let's begin. Angela knew that it's still a new moon tonight. Michelle might just try again out of compulsion. That night, Angela Marie sat up camp at the security office of the hospital, checking the CCTV cameras, particularly on the OB floor and the pediatrics. Angela spotted Michelle on one of the cameras. Angel of Death was Angela's thought about Michelle. Michelle was clearly just seen just performing her duties, doing rounds, just doing her job till she looked at one of the cameras like she knows someone is watching her. Maurice was creeped out by the way she looked at the camera. It was different. It was almost felt like she was watching and threatening the hunters. Angela felt different. It was like, yes, I'm watching you, bitch kind of vibe. It has been pretty dull. Michelle was still visible on CCTV. Maurice was on watch as Angela went out to stretch her legs and get some coffee for the long night. Angela heard a call on their police transceivers. It was Maurice reporting that he lost Michelle on all of the monitors. Angela and Maurice met at the OB unit. It was quiet. Maurice approached the nurses' station. The nurses were there doing what nurses do, chart. Maurice did a little chit chat, showed them his badge. It got their attention. One of the older nurses said it was a pretty boring night till he came along. Angela doused the fire and asked, was there a nurse from another floor stopping by? All of them replied no, but one of the nurses was responding to an alarm. One of the Toko monitors lost connection. Suddenly, a code crimson was called on the PA system. The nurses started running towards the room at the end of the hall near the stairwell and fire escape. Angela asked what's the commotion all about. One of the nurses said that someone is bleeding. Angela ran with the nurses as Maurice got a call on his transceiver. It was security, saying they detected an alarm. One of the stairwell doors opened, but no one was seen on the monitors for the hallway. Maurice ran towards the stairs and Angela went with the nurses to check on the patient. Angela saw the nurses removing a very bloody blanket off the patient. They found the source of the bleeding. The code crimson was replaced by a code blue announced on the PA. The nurses was bringing the crash cart. Angela stepped out of the way and decided to follow Maurice. Maurice, with his gun drawn, saw a flash of pink going up the stairs. He yelled stop, but no one responded. He made the chase up the stairs. He got to one of the landings. As he turned towards another flight of stairs, someone or something pushed him hard against the wall. It knocked the wind out of Maurice, but before he could get his bearings back, he felt that he was being lifted up in the air by a pair of strong arms and tossed down a flight of stairs. Just in time to land to the feet of Angela. Angela checked on Maurice. He was out, but he has no obvious injury. He would be alright. Angela pursued Michelle heading towards the roof. She saw Michelle transfiguring, and when it was done, she looked very different. Michelle hissed like a wild animal getting cornered. Her eyes became bulging and red. Fangs came out of the corners of her mouth, and a long forked tongue was slithering out of it. She also had sharp claws. Angela warned Michelle and aimed her 9mm and fired a warning shot. Michelle was fast. She easily avoided the shot and rushed Angela. Michelle swatted the gun away and slashed at the detective. Angela, with her martial arts training, was able to avoid some attacks. A kick from Michelle sent Angela crashing through a door and onto the rooftop of the hospital, which was visible from the airport. Angela landed on the roof face first and with bleeding on her arms and chest from the slashing attack of the nurse from hell. Michelle was on top of Angela now and raised her clawed arm, getting ready to deliver the final blow. She turned Angela to face her before the kill. She was surprised to see a different face. Angela has switched to Alina. Alina threw a quick punch to the chest of the surprised Michelle. It tossed her a few feet away from Alina. Michelle snarled and Alina grinned. Michelle attacked with her claws, but Alina was faster than Michelle. She hit Michelle with a couple of punches and did a leg sweep, sending Michelle's ass to the ground. Michelle was freaking angry. Angry like that green giant in another comics universe. She had a large bat wing came out of her back. It had a single pointed talon coming out of the edge of both wings. She took a swing with it, slashing through Alina's blouse. Alina now was getting hit by claws and talons. Alina, however, was the superior fighter, blocking and avoiding the attacks, yet able to throw her punches and kicks effectively. Michelle was already injured and bleeding. For the first time in her long, monstrous life, she learned fear. She distracted Alina by spitting a black goo towards her face. Alina blocked it with her arm. It was all the time Michelle needed to get away from Alina. She ran towards the edge of the roof, spread her wing, and flew away from the top of the hospital, heading towards the airport. Alina, being the mistress of the wind and weather, used the wind and storm clouds to propel her in the air and fly after Michelle. The noise made by the wind and the storm clouds masked the sounds created by the surroundings, in this case, the airport. With the distraction, Michelle did not notice that she was in the flight path of a large Airbus. Before she can react, she was sucked and swallowed by the massive engine of the jet. Only a blood spray came out of the rear of that engine, but it was enough to jolt the plane, as the pilot tells the captain that he thinks that the plane has hit a large goose. Alina flew back to the hospital and transformed back to Angela, just in time for Maurice to get to the roof with an aching body and saw Angela standing by the edge. Angela told Maurice that Michelle took the first flight out of this place. Maurice wondered how in the world would we be able to put that in the report. Whoa, that was a lot of work, so glad you made it till the end. Thank you everyone who had cared enough to watch this episode. I'm truly humbled. Please click the like and subscribe button. Angela and Alina will be back for another episode soon. And please don't deprive your friends of the suffering or joy you've been through. Share. Thank you. Peace.